everybody. My name is Manasia, and I'm here today interviewing Mr. G, who works here with us. So yeah, I'll be asking him some questions today. So tell us about yourself, Mr. G.
Well, most of the students call me Mr. G, but my first name is Irvin, my last name is Girard. So Mr. G is easier for most people to remember. Well, but I'm actually a local kid myself. So I grew up in East Hartford, but prior to East Hartford, I actually was born and raised in a very, very small Caribbean island called St. Lucia. So when I speak, you guys may hear a little accent, but that's where it comes from. But originally from East St. Lucia, grew up in East Hartford, went to East Hartford High. From East Hartford High, went to Western Connecticut State University for my undergrad. From there, went to Springfield College for a graduate school.
Is this the field you wanted to work in, like with kids and stuff like that?
Yes, so definitely. Originally, when I went to college, originally I wanted to major in, I wanted to be a PE and health teacher, but that lasted for like one semester. Because what I really wanted to do was be able to work closely with kids and work closely with families.
Understand more.
Yep, and social work was the best major for me at that time.
I'm glad you found something you liked.
Yes.
What do you like most about working at Synergy?
Well, one reason why I really wanted to come to Synergy and work at Synergy is because of the diverse student population that we have and the diverse staff that we have. Every single person here at Synergy is for a different reason. That goes from staff to the student, and especially the students. Not everyone is here for the same reason. And what I love about being here is that I'm able to have direct access to you guys and be able to work with you guys directly. So that's one of the reasons why I love being at Synergy.
Before you were working here, what was your previous profession?
So this may throw some people off, but originally, prior to Synergy, I worked at DCF for about 14 years.
How was that?
It was great. But prior to that, though, I actually worked at East Hartford High School for a year. And unfortunately, that situation didn't work out at the time. And I left the East Hartford High and went to DCF.
What exactly did you do, like working in DCF?
At DCF, I basically worked with both the kids and the families.
Yeah.
So in the 14 years I worked for DCF, I worked with kids where the families were still in the home, kids where that were out of the home. But what I really, really enjoyed doing was working with those kids from 13 to like 24, where they started off at middle school, went to high school, and from high school they transitioned to college or the workforce or the military, something post high school. So one of the things I really did, and I was very, very instrumental, was helping and supporting those transitions with those kids. That part I really, really like because I actually saw results. And to this day, I still keep in touch with some of those kids that have moved on to work. Some of them are married, some of them are kids. I still keep in touch with some of them at least once a year or so. You know, they'll reach out.
Yeah, that's good. Like, did you actually help them? Like for example, like how you said they went off to college and
Yes,
the workforce stuff like that. Like you were one of the people that helped them fill out applications or like
Fill out
different
application, went to job fairs, went to visit them in the dorms, had meetings with the counselors. I used to travel to like Oklahoma, a bunch of trips to Pennsylvania. So I used to travel a lot working with DCF. In fact, in 2014, my last trip was I went to St. Croix. I had to take a young lady down there to visit some family members. So I did a bit of traveling for a while I worked for DCF.
That sounds fun, kind of, depending on the circumstances.
It does. Yes.
Well, does that job require like certain qualities that you should have, like being like? Yes, does it require like what kind of qualities did you need in order to qualify for the job?
Well, I think for any job that you want to go and enjoy and that you basically want, one of the things that you really gonna have to demonstrate is that you have good management skills. Meaning that you have to show up on time to work. You can't leave work early because you want to. Also, with the personal responsibility. when you are given a task, your supervisor, your coworkers, people around you, they expect you to start and finish that job. And I think those qualities you could take at DCF, you could take at Synergy. As a student, you could take those skills and go to any job. And if you possess those two things, I think you would be successful. Time management and taking personal responsibility is definitely important.
Yeah, responsibility is a big key.
Yes.
What do yeah, from what I've heard and what you told me, you work at Sunset Ridge. What's one of the biggest differences between working with high school students and middle
Middle
schoolers?
school.
Yeah.
Well, I think there are a lot of similarities. I mean, at both schools, you have students who need the extra support, and you have students who are natural leaders. They don't need the extra support. I mean, some of the differences are you may have, kid walking down the hallway that every period you have to remind them to tie their shoelaces. Compared to over here, you have to tell some folks, to pull up the pants. So those things, there's some similarities to it, but the other thing is that at both schools, like I said, you have natural leaders, and sometimes all they need is a little push, so they can see the true potentials. And that's at both schools. I see those two things there.
I think that's very valid, actually. Because what are some other outside interests that you have besides working in Synergy and Sunset?
Yeah, so on my free time, if I do have free time, I love spending time with my kids, but when that's not happening, I'm actually a member of the board of directors for the Hartford Marathon Foundation, and we have about 32 events a year, and our biggest is we just had this past weekend on October 14th, and actually had about 6 students from Synergy that came out to volunteer.
That explains your sweater now. I was wondering what that stood for.
It does. So on that day, we have the 5Ks, we have the relays, we have the half marathon, we have the full marathon. So it's our biggest event. But like I said, we have other events throughout the year. And on Saturday, we probably had close to, if everyone that was there, probably close to like between 11 and 12,000 people right downtown.
What are the events exactly for? Like, do you guys donate the money to like cancer, or like autism? Like, what do you guys do?
Yes. So part of what we do is that we have folks who want to run for charities. So they'll pick a charity that they'll run for, and the money that so when they start the charity, they had to put upfront pay for the fees, but they basically run for the charity, so they make money for that charity. So it could be breast cancer, it could be childhood diabetes, it could be running for the Children's Hospital in Hartford. It could be a variety of different organizations that they're running for. So this is an opportunity for individuals to raise money for the charities. We are a non-profit, so most of the money that we do get is through the fees. We don't charge extra for things that we don't need to charge extra for. And I'll give you a great example is that the hurricane that happened in Houston, we actually raised close to $30,000. And all that money went to help fund the disaster relief in Texas. So we do a lot of external things to help support the community, to help support folks who are in need. So being part of this is very, very dear and near to me. And I've been doing this for about 7 years now.
I think you have very good intentions, and that's very nice of you. And I'm kind of sad that was our last question because you seem like you have very good intentions at heart with yourself. And
Yes,
doing runs, things like that, a lot of people don't do, especially not for free. So for you to do that for free it goes a lot, like it shows a lot about your characteristic as a person and as a man.
Yes, and I know that was your last question, but I'm here 2 days a week. At any given moment that any student needs to come talk to me some about what we just discussed, feel free. catch me in the hallway, catch me another time, let me know that you have additional questions. I'm free and willing to answer any additional questions that you have.
Well, I'm glad that you let me interview you. Thank you for letting me interview you.
Thank you very much. This was great.